The hair made a loud sound through the damaged window of the old, empty house at the street's end. The villagers whispered among themselves whenever they passed by, shaking their heads in pity. Inside that house lived a woman who was once proud and feared, but now reduced to nothing but skin, bones, and regrets. No one came to see her. No one offered her food or kindness, and no one pitied her suffering, for they all remembered what she had done. She wasn't always like this. There was a time when she was powerful, when her cruelty knew no bounds, and her victim was a little girl named Amarachi. Amarachi was only 5 years old when she lost her mother to a mysterious illness. Her father, who was a wealthy merchant, was very heartbroken, but he remarried because he believed that his daughter needed a mother's care. That was when Oluchi came into their lives. She was beautiful on the outside but rotten to the core. Oluchi married Amarachi's father, not for love, but for his wealth. At first, she pretended to care for the little girl, but she stopped pretending when she had her own kids. She had 3 children, 2 boys and a girl, and from the moment they arrived, Amarachi was no longer important. Oluchi started maltreating her. It started with little things. She wore old, torn clothes, while her step-siblings wore the best clothes. She would do all the household work, as Oluchi practically turned her into slave in the house. When her father was away on business trips, Oluchi became extremely cruel and unfair to Amarachi. She found faults in anything Amarachi did. Amarachi was forced to sleep in the kitchen, given leftovers and beaten for the smallest mistakes. "You are useless, just like your mother," Oluchi would say. "Tell your father and see what happens." Her father was completely blind to the abuse because Oluchi knew how to act like a saint when he was around. She would make sure Amarachi dressed well and make nice hairstyles for her. Amarachi would look at her father with sad, hopeful eyes, asking for help, but it was useless due to Oluchi's pretense. When Amarachi turned 10, she discovered she had a gift, an incredible talent for weaving baskets. Despite the hardships, she found comfort in making beautiful designs, creating beauty from the pain inside her heart. One day, she managed to sell a few baskets at the marketplace and bought herself a small meal with the money she earned. But when Oluchi found out, all hell broke loose. That night, Amarachi was thrown outside, left shivering and hungry, and from that moment, she started planning her escape. At 16, Amarachi had grown into a strong, determined young woman. One fateful afternoon, she fled when no one was around. She had nothing but a small sack of belongings and the knowledge she had gained from years of suffering. She left the house that had never been a home. She went to a distant town where no one knew her past. With her exceptional weaving skills, she quickly gained attention of good customers and things began to change for her good. A wealthy merchant who was impressed by her talent took her under his wing. He provided her with resources, a home, and a new life. Within a few years, Amarachi had built an empire. Her baskets were no longer just household items. They were works of art, sought after by nobles and royalty. She became one of the most successful businesswomen in the land. She was respected and admired everywhere. Yet, despite her wealth and power, a part of her never forgot the little girl who had once shivered outside in the night begging for mercies. Years passed, and the wealth which Oluchi had so desperately clung to had gone. Her children, whom she had favored above all else, had abandoned her. Her eldest son wasted all the money and property he was given, and then left without a trace. Her second son had fallen into crime and was imprisoned. Our daughter married a rich man and cut all ties with her, for she was ashamed of her mother's past cruelty. Now, Oluchi was alone, broke and forgotten. One day, she heard whispers of a powerful woman who helped the poor, a woman who had once been nothing but was now everything. The name made her stomach twist in fear. Amarachi. Summoning what little pride she had left, Oluchi made her way to Amarachi's grand house. She approached the guards at the gate. Her voice trembled as she spoke. "Please, I need to see her." The guards looked at the pitiful old woman. Word reached Amarachi through the guards and she ordered them to let her in. Oluchi gasped. Gone was the frightened little girl she had tormented. For the first time in her life, Oluchi felt small. She fell to her knees, sobbing, "Please, I am left with nothing and I have nowhere to go." Amarachi looked at the woman who had once made her life a living hell. She could see the regrets in her eyes. "I will not become like you," Amarachi said. "I will not let hatred rule my heart. I will let you live with me and provide for your needs. I will show you the kindness which you had denied me all those years, and that kindness burned deeper than any revenge." Oluchi wept uncontrollably. She lived the rest of her days in Amarachi's household, but she never truly found peace. Every night, she was troubled by memories of the past, of a little girl she had beaten, starved, and belittled. Amarachi, however, flourished. She had broken free from the chains of cruelty and rising above them.